Welcome back to this another live session, traders. Hope that you had an enjoyable day. Starting another trading week as first session of the week. Looking at here in this market currently to see that what kind of trading opportunity you have. You will be looking at gold as well as dollar yen to see possible trading opportunity in this market. This is a very important session, guys. This is the first session of today's market. So looking at here that the market once open, we have seen initial bullish move. Currently the market is almost where it started its move early today. So first of all, looking at the bigger picture to see the overall direction in this market. If you guys are enjoying this live session, make sure you like this stream first of all, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Press the notification bell so that you're not missing any of the content that I'm posting every day. This is a very important day, so make sure guys also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. So let's begin today's session to see what the market is doing here. Now this is the most important price action that you can see on the lower time frame is the breakout structure. This is what we're looking at here in this market to see where the market is heading to. So looking at first of all we'll be looking at the higher time frame to see that what kind of the market structure is forming. Now looking at daily chart. Now daily chart is very important. If you guys look at daily time frame is where I look at most of the trading opportunity here, how the market might be doing, and then we will be also looking at the other time frame to see how the market is evolving over time here. So looking at first of all daily chart, and in that daily time frame, this is where there is a bearish price action here on the daily, and in that daily time frame what kind of price action it has formed here in that market. So last day of trading week was a pretty stronger breakdown, and in that breakdown last day of trading week we saw there is a daily bear candle with a long wick on both direction here in that market. So first of all, before even we look at the daily, let's look at also the weekly and monthly time frame to see how the price action is evolving here. Now looking at monthly chart to see that overall direction in this market. Now looking at monthly, this is the monthly support level here where the market started to move back to the upside from this monthly level, which has created that monthly upside here. And with that monthly upside here in that market, this is where the market structure is bullish. From the monthly, the price has created this move back to the upside here, and that's where the market is showing that it's a bull market. It's a long-term bull market. So are you going to see a bull or bear? Let's see now the multiple time frame. This is where the best trading opportunity come when you are looking at the multiple time frame. Now looking at the weekly chart to see how the market is potentially evolving here. Are you going to see a deeper pullback, or we could see again bounce off that level? It's a long-term bull market, so you're only looking at here from the bigger picture perspective in that market. So let's see that on the news and also the calendar as well to see how the market is potentially evolving here in that area. So here is there's quite a few news about the tariff, so that is absolutely important to look at here in that market to see how the price action is creating the structure here. Now before we go to that, the technical is at the moment is very important because we are trading on the lower time frame, so we are looking at highly about the technical as well. So looking at the daily chart. Now daily perspective, the market earlier that we have seen the bulls try to break that high, and from this pullback the market rejected again right? So there is a possibility now for the market to come down for weak fill, right? On the daily, that you can see a possibility for a weak fill here. So looking at the 4-hour chart here, the market structure after the previous session's 4-hour candle, the market started to drop again back below here in that market. So we can see there is a lower time frame breakup structure here in that market, where there is a big drop from the 4-hour, pretty strong drop here, followed by this pullback. There is a neckline test of this previous support here, which is turning resistance here. And support turn resistance, the market may continue to drop here in that direction here to create a new lower low in that market. So this is where the market is currently approaching that direction. So looking at the lower time frame, now I'm looking at the 15-minute chart to see that the market is possibly coming down here. And there is a, if you look at, there is a breakup structure. The market has maintained that series of lower high. Okay, so with that series of lower high, the price action slowly building that potential momentum back below here in that direction. So we might see that the price to break this current support level. So you can see it's in a downtrend, and with that downtrend, the market started to break below here to this support level where there is a high liquidity, there is a high area of value in that market. So that being said, as this is currently, there is a head and shoulder. Okay, so with that head and shoulder formation, the market started to trend back down here, and that break that we can see on the lower time frame, that you can see the market in this lower time frame from this support level, there is a break below, and currently the market below this trend line, and that break might bring the price little further downside here, and that downside could bring us for the market to potentially drop further back below. So I'm looking at the 1 hour and the 30 minutes chart. If you look at here, in that area, it is currently a bear market. So if you look at here, you can see it's a bear market, a complete break below, and with that break below here, which where the market is showing up to be downside in that area. So looking at the 1 hour perspective and also the lower time frame, the market is showing up that the possibility for break of this support is pretty high here, and because there is a possibility for a break below on the lower time frame, that we can see the market is showing up to be bearish trending market structure here in that area. So that being said, we are looking at here in that market, this is the lower time frame price action, expecting the price to potentially drop down here in that area to this support level to create a new lower low in that area. So this is the current market structure on the lower time frame, showing up that there is a possibility for deeper drop here in that market. And from the 1 hour that you can see, this is the 1 hour resistance where the market structure is showing up to be potentially bearish here in that area and could continue to drop. If you look at the 5-minute chart here, that you can see also the market structure showing up to be downside in that area. So if we look at this is a 1-minute chart, and in that lower time frame, the market, again, we can see that in this lower time frame, the price has broken this trend line, and break of this trend line is important because with that break of this trend line, if we look at the market may continue to drop, or we could see that another bounce back to the upside. And we want to be on a trade where the market is showing up to be bearish, because that's where you can look for sell. Otherwise, if we look at the 4-hour time frame, This is the 4-hour price action. There was a previous session, there was a big bear candle, followed by this session. After a pullback, the market has rejected back below here, and that's where the market is showing up. Okay, so you can see the price is showing up in that direction. So there is a bearish market structure. The price action is showing up to be, we see that with this breakup structure, possibility that the market to come back below here in that area. So looking in that area where there is a downside momentum here in that area. So that being said, on the lower time frame, the market is currently locally showing up to be bearish, and in that bear market, wanting that the price have done enough pullback, and with that pullback, the price again drop back down here to this support level to create a new lower low in that market. So 1 minute chart, if we look at, this is a unusual break above here, but it's trying to go back up to that key level of resistance, and that is where it might test again. So this is another breakup structure, and we might be able to find a potential sell opportunity here with this breakup structure. 1 hour price action, the market again reached that 1 hour resistance line. Are you guys ready for a potential entry that I'm looking at for this possible breakdown below? There is a trend line break. So if you guys look at, you can see from this high, the market is slowly creating that bearish pressure here in that area. And in the meantime, welcome. Can you say yes if you can hear me? Hope the trade stream is going well, being heard. Thanks for joining here. And if you first watching or watching for some time, if you haven't liked this stream, it would be helpful if you like this stream. And also we are looking at here on gold for an entry with a breakup trend line. We can see that the market is now on a pullback. So the possibility for us to enter a short position that I'm looking at once the price has tested this 1 hour. If you look at, this is the 1 hour price action, which is currently formed a long wick at the bottom. Expecting the market to test the upper shadow, and if you look at, this is a bounce that the market is trying to break to the upside. Welcome. Are you guys ready for an entry? We will be looking for an entry in the direction of the trend. This is what we are looking at here in that market, to trade, to enter in the direction of the trend. And this is an initial that potentially breaking out of that level, going out of the 4239 level. If the price is crossing that high here, we might see that potential rejection, and we'll be entering into the rejection here. Currently it's on the 1 hour resistance line. There's a trend line break. How far it might be going up is the question. So waiting for a possible, if you look at the 1 hour market structure, it's a doji, which is a pin bar, and the possibility for this pin bar to break below is very much higher here, and that is where looking at this market to trend in that direction here. So 1 minute forming a doji, and we will be looking for a sell entry here by market, starting with the stop loss above this high, which is nearly to 90 pip, and looking to enter sell trade by market for this move, which is showing up that this market is bearish at the moment. Ready for another big entry. So I'm short on gold. I've already running one trade. So I've opened sell here for a possible break below. Now this is, we can see there was a break below of this trend line, expecting that this market to return again back down here to the major direction of the trend. So running short trade, and as soon as we see significant profit reach, we can take some position off the market. I'm running on short gold and expecting it to trend back in that direction here to this long-term support level. And if you look at here, you can see this is a very narrow gap here, and in that gap expecting the market to trend back down here to this long-term support level in that market. So we are running profit at the moment. I'm running profit. I hope that you guys also running profit, and would like to see that break below 20 pip running at the moment, 25 pip. It's little volatile here. This is what expecting the market to break below again to the long-term support level. Now there is a structure formation here, and that's what we're looking to see that potentially to break below here. Now if this structure breaking below here, that could lead that market back down to this support level, and this is where this is where the market is currently in a downtrend, and would like to see that the price action to break below. Expecting that's where you can see the market. Cool. We are running quite a few pip now at the moment. I'm up on this to 40 pip. Right, guys, we are running. This is where I'm running in this trade nearly to 50 pip, and would like to see that taking 50 pip up on that or more. This is where we really make money in trading. This is what the real trading is. And 52 pip running profit. Are you guys excited with the trade? If you're excited, today in this live session, I'd like to one enthusiastic member in the academy to join. So stay connected. Right. So here currently I'm running nearly to with this trade 45 to 50 pip, and I'm going out with the trade right now. I'm out with the trade. I'm out with the trade with 40 pip. We can re-enter anytime, whenever we need it. This is where we need to look at, guys. This is where I'm looking at. This is what I'm focusing on, right? Taking the partial profit and then we can re-enter. We have the system also for bigger wins. Here we have 40 pip, and now this market may drop down further, or you could see some sideway movement. But the way the market is forming, we may see the market to break even further below, or we could see that potential rejection again back here in that market. Expecting rejection here. I'm out with the trade with the running profit. Awesome. Cool. Here expecting the market to potentially trend down here. This is where there is a possibility for a bearish move here in that market, and looking at that market here, that expecting the price to continue to trend in that area to this support level. And awesome. We see that break below in that area, that you can see the market to break below here, where there is a rejection in that market, that you can see the price is showing up, that the price to break below here to this support level. There is a high liquidity and the market potentially to trend back down here in that area. So you see that there is a so far bearish price action has formed, and in that bearish price action expecting the market to break the support, coming back here to create a new lower low in this market. Guys, we are on it. We catch that trade. This is not only we talk, we also make. Are you guys excited about the trade? Let me know in the live chat. Are you ready for entry another one? Ready for entry another one? Let me know in the live chat if you are ready for another one. We will be opening multiple trades whenever it comes to the opportunity for us to experience the trades. In the meantime, if you are enjoying the live session, did you like this stream? And also give a feedback in the live chat to see that how you guys are doing. And here you are, the most important part, as we discussed in our previous trade also, the most important part here as a trader is to look for the trade setup that is high probability, right? That's where we need to look at as a trader. Thanks for joining here. Welcome. What your GU thought? We will be looking at here dollar yen, also along with gold. We are looking at this entry. We looked at that enter. So how many of you have opened the trade and also closed in profit, or are you still running it? Welcome, welcome. Which we could see now potentially some deeper pullback here. So the market structure, the way it is showing up, that you see it's a downtrending market structure. Now in the downtrending market structure, we're looking at here that the price action to be significantly bearish because there is a local breakdown here. So that means there is a trend line breakdown. And if we look at the 1 hour price action, that you can see the market has created a pretty long wick candle. And in that long wick candle, as this market is on a downtrend, we could see the price to show up here, that kind of price action. So expecting this trend to continue to drop back here, potentially to this support level. There was a break of structure that we have traded. That another entry, yeah, absolutely. Have you closed that one in profit? Now, what is the strategy and education behind this trade that you are looking at here in that market? Mine was 45 pip. How many of you have taken the trade here? So mine here 45 pip. I could take little higher, but welcome back to this another live session here. Now in that area that you can see the market structure showing up, that this is the zone where looking at this market to break that low, potentially to trend back down. Now if this market breaking that support level, we see that there is a fair value gap. Now there are two possible scenarios now at the moment: the price to go back again to the upside or continue to trend down back here in that support level. This is what we're looking at here in that market to see the price action, that the price is breaking that low. And then there is a daily support level as well. If you look at the daily low, today's daily low is here. So this is where the today's low, and also the previous daily low is here. And if you look at the market structure, today's low here, that the price is approaching that today's low, and the market may potentially to test that low here again, which is also a possible scenario to see the market to show up. Currently it's on a sideways movement, and it is possible for this market entirely break below the previous daily support here in this market. The key here is to enter the trade when it is in a high probability setup. The edge is the big deal in the market, guys. This is where you need to look at edge. Okay, so always trade with bigger edge, because when you are trading, you can enter a trade with, you know, like 50-50. Okay, if you flip coin, it's gonna be 50-50 always, right? Not with 2 or 3 flip, if you take 5,000 pip flip or 10,000 flip, at the end of the day you'll see that it will be near 50%, 48, 49, 51, 52, like that percent will move around in that zone. So but when you have an edge in the market, so how can you find that edge? This is where it comes down to trading and risk management, guys. This is the key here, finding an edge, and that's what we have entered. If you look at this entry that we have taken, what is the edge here? Okay, so the edge firstly is the trend, right? What is the trend here? We know that from the daily it's a bull market, but we are trading on this lower time frame. On the 1 minute we see that there was a daily bear candle form. Today's price so far, as soon as the market opened, we have seen the initial bounce back to the upside, given that possibility that this market may in fact have a deeper pullback potentially, and we have seen the market has shown that pattern. If you look at the daily price action that you can see in that area, the market has shown that up, and that is where the market structure has created a clean momentum that could bring that price back below here in that support level. So this is where the market is. If you look at, this is the high here, and this is the lower time frame price action. If we see that there is an inverted head and shoulder, we could see that pullback again, but the trend that we can see on the lower time frame is so far showing up to be downside here. So, and that's where our entry is in the direction of the trend. That is what we need to look at when we are looking at the market. All right, so lower time frame price action, this is currently in a consolidation in that area, which may lead that market to break further low. A very interesting structure has formed. Now, this structure could break above or could break below, depending on how the price action is forming here in that area. This is a very long doji here in that market, which is in fact pretty long doji. Showing up the market to create that bearish move. There's a long wick here and the market is showing up significant in that area that you can see the price is possibly breaking back below here in that support level and expecting the market to trend down, potentially to back below here. And that's where you guys see that it's now trying to fill that long wick. And if the market is breaking that low, we look at, and that break of this low is where there is a high possibility the market to create a new lower low. So if we delete our previous lines here, that you can see there's a doji has formed here. Now this doji on the 15 minutes that you can see can act in both direction. We can see there is a potential break of structure, or we could see the market to come back down here to create a new lower low. So this is the 1 hour price action, and with this 1 hour there is a long wick here, right? So the first trade that you have open is based on that. Now, are you going to see a wick fill here on the 1 hour? This is a very important question, because as there's a long wick here, we can expect this market to come down, right? Come down and we fill that long wick here in that area, right? So this is the zone that we look at in that market to come down and fill that long wick. There is a 1 minute bearish engulfer from this high here. Now this is currently in a very important zone, because that price action that you can see can act in both way. It could break above or it could break down. If it breaks down, we might see a new downtrend continuation back below here in that market. Welcome. So this is a very stronger consolidation that you can see in that market, and that consolidation could bring that market to possibly break below further, or you could see a bounce back again, depending on how the market is forming. With a long wick here that you can see in this market, which is pretty strong, a long wick here. There's a short-term bounce here in that market, and this is the 1 hour price action that has created that move in that area, and that is what we are looking at in this market, for the price to potentially drop down here to break below in that area. there's a breakup structure, and that could be now possibly to some bounce here in that market. If you look at the 4 hour from the support, is carrying some bounce here, and that bounce might bring that market back above here in that area. So depending on the market structure, from this daily support you can see there is a break above here in that market. So this is the price action that could take this market to bounce off that level. And with that break of structure that you can see, the market has turned that downside here. We see there is a long wick doji is being created, so there is a break of structure that might now see that from the daily the price has just crossed this daily high, and there might be a retest of this daily resistance line here in that market. So there is a short-term bounce back here. Now, as the long-term trend is bullish, we could see that this market to potentially remain back upside here. And here you can see the market is, if you look at here with that movement, price action that has created that initial bounce. So there might be a potential upside momentum here for short term, and as there is a rejection from this daily support, this is a very narrow range here on the daily that you can see in this market, and that daily range could lead that market to potentially, if you look at here, you can see this is a rejection from this lower and higher price. In between this support and resistance, the market might range and even now potentially to retest that high in this market. So we'd like to enter again as soon as we see the market has shown up that pattern here in that area. Welcome back to this live session here in that market, where there is an if you look at now, it created a new structure. If you look at, guys, you can see it form this inverted head and shoulder and a strong breakout from that inverted head and shoulder. And with that breakout, the market has created this momentum back to the upside here, and that is where if you look at with that inverted head and shoulder, a complete breakout, and that breakout could bring the market again back here in that area to the upside to create a potential new higher high. So lower time frame price action is where the trend line that you can see. With this breakup structure, the market now testing the today's high here, and this is today's high that in that area that the market has reached so far. And with the today's high, the market has reached that level, expecting the price to cross that high and then to potentially to trend back down in the direction. This is what we are looking at in that market, for the price to potentially come back here to this support level. Welcome back to the live session. So as this market, we have initially opened a position. This market had an initial bounce back to the upside. That's where the price action is showing up to be long-term trending. So here is the support the market has tested, and from that support that you can see the price has created this initial bounce back to the upside, which is showing that the market may possibly break that high, crossing that high potentially to create a new higher high in that market. So in that area now on the lower time frame, initially it has got a bounce back to the upside in that market. So looking at this price action, guys, you can see this is an initial trend back to the upside, which has reached that key level, expecting that this market to possibly to now retest this daily high. So today's high is here, which is also aligning with the trend line. We might see now a possible break above as it managed to bounce back to the upside. So our next entry aiming to the daily high as the market started to trend again back to the daily high. So the previous entry that we have taken, if you guys looked at that, we have taken this short-term drop and we have taken it. This is a short-term drop. The market has formed a reversal pattern and rejected back above here. Now with that rejection, as the market in this here, in this key level, in this box here, what expecting that the price to potentially break from the structure and then return back again to the upside here to this key level. So if you look at here, this is the current support level, which is a very important liquidity zone, and in that support level expecting the market to trend and then to revert again back above here in that market. So any break below here at the moment is an opportunity for us to buy this market. Are you guys ready for another entry? 5 minutes candle closing with a stronger breakout. Currently the market in this local uptrend and approaching this daily high. So the market may range in between this daily high and low, as there is a structure formation here. Possibility to revert back again is higher. So our entry here, that what we are looking at in that market to see the price to show up in that area where there is a high liquidity. This is a long wick doji that we can see in that market, expecting the price to drop down here to this support level and then to create a new higher high in that market. There is an initial break of structure here in that area, and where the market is currently breaking below, and from that support level expecting rejection back here in that market where there is a high liquidity. And as the market is coming down here, which could give us that potential another buying opportunity in that area in this market. Lower time frame price action here, this is a key support level, which is very important level of support, expecting the market to drop here, respect that level and then reject back again, and any break below here is where looking at this market to give us a possible buy entry. You guys ready for another bullish entry here, as the possibility for going back up to the daily high is what we're looking at in that market. Always guys, look at that the trend is your friend. Okay, so this is where we're looking at. Running profit, welcome. Gbpjpy, I'm not enter the trade, can I enter? Now we are looking at again in the direction of the bullish trend. Wait for 1 hour candle, London session, change direction. The market will, when especially higher time frame pullback. Okay, so if you look at that, a market that is in a higher time frame pullback. So if you look at a market in a higher time frame, let's say daily chart on a pullback, you see that lower time frame trend could be little range. That means if you look at the daily market, what do you see here? The daily trend is bullish currently on a daily pullback, because the market on the daily pullback. So if you look at the lower time frame here, you can see that this is the daily pullback, and in that daily pullback, that's we can see the price in a range. Now you can see that this lower time frame breakdown head here that you can see currently not on a trend, so you see that it's on a range. Very important to look at what kind of market we are trading. Are you trading a market that is trend or in a pullback? So if you look at a market that is in a range, we are looking at the market to show us short-term trend, because when look at the 1 minute chart, this is a 1 minute range, and in that 1 minute range we can see that 1 hour range, we can see 1 minute trend. But in the 1 hour, if you look at, you can see that it's range. That's why multiple time frame is so important that we are looking to trade. Some of the trade that we have opened, I have already shared in the group as well. So some of the past trade that we have opened using our system, where we use the multiple time frame analysis. Now you can see that every strategy that I use the multiple time frame analysis with a tighter stop loss, bigger profit target. That's the secret of trading based on the multiple time frame and based on risk management. That's how you can keep always bigger win, smaller losses, and over the long term you can remain profitable. That's the key, that's the secret of becoming consistently profitable trader. Welcome back to the first session of the day, and there will be another one coming up with the NY session. Still this one is running on, it will keep running more. We are looking for another entry. We have successfully closed one trade and we would like to open more positions. We do open trades in the live session along with the many of the education that I'm sharing every single day, including analysis as well as also the ideas that we are discussing in this live session. In this live session, we learn the strategies, trading ideas. If you are new to the trading or having trading for some time but not being successful as a trader, this is where we discuss some of the concept that you may not find anywhere to learn, how the smart money trade, how to trade the liquidity, and how to recognize the price action based on liquidity. That's the secret of becoming a profitable trader. Trading is not hard as long as you have the right education, right strategies, right concept. There's a breakup structure here with this head and shoulder, and the market is slowly building that momentum back below here. In that area, expecting the market to potentially trend back here in that market. This is what I'm looking at in this market, for the price to potentially break to the upside here to create a new higher high in that market. Or you could see that deeper drop depending on how the market structure creating. We can look into another entry in that market. Welcome back to this live session. We started now the live session. Here we secured the first position. We're looking forward to see some more position coming later today here in this session. And this is a pretty important session as a first session of the day, and coming up later also more opportunity later today. Expecting from the daily, we can see gold has dropped initially back below to the support, and from the support the market has made its initial bounce back to the upside here, and from this support expecting the market to potentially to trend and then to return again back up here in that market. Looking at here, that you can see the market slowly has broken back below here, and expecting the price to potentially reject again back above here in that market. Looking at this lower time frame, if you look at the 30 minutes chart, that you can see there is a bullish candle with a long wick at the top, and expecting that this market to potentially, what I think now the way the market is heading, possibility that the price will go back up to the daily high, which is very high probable the market to bounce off that low to the daily high, and could see that the price to break above here to create a new higher high. So lower time frame price action, we might see that there's a short-term bounce back to the upside. If you look at the lower time frame, again 1 minute chart, we can see that it's creating that bull flag, and from that bull flag, that's where the market structure is showing up, that from this bull flag the price is potentially breaking here above in that area. Expecting the market to break below and possibly to revert again, as if you look at, we see there is a short-term bounce here, and that bounce could bring that price back above. And this bull flag is where I'm looking at our next entry. So if you look at here, you can see that this is a bull flag where an imbalance in the market. So we'll be using the pending order for the next trade. Still, I'm looking to see the market structure showing up, the price action. With this breakup structure, there is a bounce from that level, and the market now from this bull flag again creating a new higher high in that area. So this is what the market may potentially bounce and could break above here. That's where we can see the market to, we see there is a bull flag and which is breaking above here in that area. And that is where, as the market has broken above, so with that break here, the market in that area, if you look at, this is a neckline of the previous resistance, which is turning support here. And with that break to the upside, the market has shown that initial momentum back from this. If you look at from this breakout structure showing up, the market may continue to rise to the daily high. We had our first trade, waiting for the next one entry. Patience is key, as this is the hardest part of becoming a trader, guys. Patience means that you have a strategy that is proven, back tested, and you know that the strategy works, and what you need to do is repeat the strategy and be patient with your results, because as long as you know that strategy works, you can be patient. The biggest struggle for many traders, including myself when I begin my trading, is to bring faith on the strategy, because it's all about creating a neuro pathway. So if you look at our brain, okay, anything we do create a neuro pathway, right? So trading no different than that. Once you see that, or have back tested or proven, or you have run that strategy for an extended period of time, you created in fact a neuro pathway, because you saw how it works. Even when a trade is not going in your favor, or two trades not going in your favor, but you know that it works because it has track record through your experience. That is where you build that neuro connection, because it's all about not being on the way to the trade. Okay, this is also a famous quote from, I think, who said, probably JC or anyone else said that the trader's biggest enemy himself. Not to get on the way of the trade. That is the secret of becoming profitable trader. Once you have the strategy, you have the edge, right? And that is why we discuss about the market structure, we discuss about the liquidity, and we discuss about the price action. So wait for that confirmation of the price action. Wait for the market to grab liquidity. The technical aspect is to know when the market is grabbing liquidity, when get into the trade, when to trigger that buy or sell button, doing the risk management, and that let the trade run itself without modifying or breaking your target, right? Some of the previous trade that we have opened in the academy, I have already shared many of them. If you guys look at some of the past week's trade that are using this strategy, this is what we are talking about, the bigger profit target. Look at this trade here, bought at 4263.33. It's in our system according to the same strategy that I'm trading. 4263.33. It has taken profit at 4307. So in terms of peep wise, if you consider how many peep here, 440 peep on this trade, 440 peep on the first trade. The second trade that was open closed in loss. How many peep loss? The entry at 4290.65, stop at 4288.54. So if you consider this same number just for a few peep, then this is only 21 to 22 peep closed in loss. While you gain 440 peep on one trade, on the next trade you can get out with 20 pip loss, and the next one again 170 pip. How can you catch those? Simple strategy, trading with the trend, finding a key level, wait for the liquidity grab. And these are the things that you need to learn. The education is about when to know there is a liquidity grab. How do you know that liquidity grab? Breakup structure. Very simple, guys. How do you know the breakup structure? Find the trend, find the swing high, swing lows. Wait for the market to break from that structure. Not only that, but also how the market is breaking from that structure matters. If you look at an important level that you can see support or resistance, how the market breaking from that structure matters. That's where the secret. Because all break are not break. Some break may be reversal. But more often you will find that some break or many breaks are false break. And to identify the false break, what you need is to look at how the break was. What is the ATR? Has the breakdown directly hit a key level with a bigger ATR? Look for the 2.5 ATR, 2 ATR candle. If it is one candle, look for 2.5 ATR candle. If it is a multiple candlestick pattern, look for bigger number of ATR. That's all, guys. And then risk management. Always use same amount of loss in each trade and bigger profit target. You will never ever be a losing trade. Look at this one here. This is the overall that trade using the same strategy that I used in a couple of weeks ago that I have already discussed in our premium lesson. See those losses and see the gains. That is the secret of becoming a consistently profitable trader. And no one can stop you from being that except yourself. So what you need to do? Become more experienced, become more resilient, focus on learning and growing as a trader. That's why we are here, right? That's why we are doing this live session, to help the trader to learn the strategy, to grow as a trader, and to become a consistently profitable trader. All right, so here as you can see the market in that with this breakout structure from this bull flag. With this breakout structure from this bull flag, the price managed to break here. And that breakdown that you can see, with that breakout, the market has created that move back here. Would like to see that it has tested the low, tested the shadow, and rejected again back in that market. This is what we are looking at in this market. If you guys look at it, you can see this is support here, resistance here, which is turning support here, and from that support, expecting the price to grab liquidity and then to trend again back here in that market to create a new higher high in that direction. I believe that you guys are enjoying the live session. Make sure you like this stream and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Press the notification bell so that you are not missing any of the content that I am posting every single day. There's a breakup structure, and we could see that there is a potential upside move back to this daily high. We could see there is a break below. So depending on how the market structure is creating that pattern that we are looking at in this market to give us that entry opportunity here in that area, and that is where the support that we can see, and from the support expecting that the market to trend here up to create a new higher high in that market. Looking for an entry in that area for another potential bounce back here in that market. Looking at this lower time frame, the price action is, we see there is a 1 hour candle close coming, which is from this long week rejection. Now are you going to see a bounce back to the upside to the daily high? If you look at this is the daily high here, that expecting the market to potentially to bounce and then to move back here in that level. Here is the double bottom that you can see the market has formed, and with this double bottom expecting the price to continue to trend here for short-term perspective could lead that market back here above to create a potentially new higher high in that market. waiting for new entry. The structure formation here that you can see the market is in this support level and expecting the price to test and then to return again back in that area to the support level. There is a double bottom here. The market's trying to break to the upside here and potentially to continue to rise back in that direction. So this is where we might see that an upside bias here. And if we look at this move that you can see the market, there is a lower time frame bearish fair value gap. The price may go ahead and fill that fair value gap. If the fair value gap is little higher, we could straight away enter this very smaller gap here around 20 pip. I'm looking for the bigger gap. Okay, so you can see it's just straight bouncing off and filling that fair value gap. Trading fair value gap is fun if you know that exactly when to enter in those fair value gap. You can see it's completely breaking up and the next one might straight bounce off that level. And if you look at the 5 minutes, you can see the market in this lower time frame also getting the rejection again back above here in that market. Series of high or low here, and you can see this inverted head and shoulder that you can see the market has managed to break above here from the inverted head and shoulder, could continue to rise yet to back to create a new higher high. And lower time frame price action that you can see in this area, the market to show up back up in that zone, so which is showing up that the price to go back again to the direction of the trend. we are looking for next entry as the market up showing up. So this is where the consolidation and understanding the market structure will also give you a bigger edge in the market. So if you look at here, you can see this is a double bottom with this bull flag, and with that bull flag the market has formed that bull flag, and with this bull flag the market has tested this previous resistance here, which is turning support here, and getting that reaction again back above here. So the first step that we saw, that there was a bull flag and breakout from that, again another structure and breakout again, so which is showing that potential continuation back to the upside here, and slowly it may move back to this daily high. The key here is to look for a market that is trending, that is having a probability, high probability that the price to potentially to go back again in the direction of the trend. So if you look at, again, there's a new market structure has created. I'm refreshing. If you look at here, you can see this is a daily range that you can see market, and in the daily range the price to bounce off that level, and here is the 4-hour rejection. There's another 4-hour rejection. So with that back to back 2 long wick candle, the market has crossed that high here, and that's where the price is showing up that this is a move in that market. So looking at that level here, okay, so with a bullish candle, another bullish candle is being formed from the 1 hour that you can see here, and lower time frame breaking again from that structure. Here's the move that you can see on the lower time frame, again break to the upside and expecting the market to continue to rise back to the direction of the trend. This is a key level of resistance. The market structure is showing up that it's making its way back to the upside. So current daily high is here that you can see. We might see the market to reach that daily high, and with that daily high test we might see the price to potentially cross or reject back again. What I think that we may see this market to continue to cross here, continue to potentially rise back to that daily level, as there's another session coming. Currently we can see the market trend is bullish. We have seen after this break of this trend line here, the prices start to bounce back up. We might see now what I think that potentially new higher high formation. So along the way, anytime breaking below here, giving us a potential trading opportunity, will be going long here, waiting for an entry. And until that, guys, coming up very soon, another session in just a matter of 3 hours, and I'll see you there again together trading live after this short break. any trade in the meantime coming also I'm going to share in the group. Until that, stay well, stay happy.